Hey everybody, it's Nick here for Grayscale Gorilla Cast. I'm going to do another After Effects tutorial today. I'm pumped about everybody's response to a couple days ago. I posted a really basic intro to After Effects and got a lot of good response, and I'm going to do another one. One concern was not having the image large enough to really see all the buttons I'm pressing, and I agree. And I'm looking into figuring out what to do on that. Vimeo, they let you upload HD files, and I also have a pro account, which means I could embed HD files, but they kind of limit to a certain amount of embeds on my site before I pay more. So I'm looking into other services, and I got some ideas. So I think Vidue, what is it called? Vidue. Yeah, here you go. Vidue looks like it may work. Anyway, just give you a little update. And today we're going to talk about animating in After Effects, and you know, some of the basics of keyframing. So go ahead and open up After Effects and make a new composition. And I'm going to make again an HD 1280 by 720 comp, so you guys can see what the heck's going on. Also going to make a new solid and make it square. It's going to be 720 by 720, and let's go orange because I love orange. And the first thing we'll do is scale it down. So I'm going to hit S for scale and just scale it down to make it manageable. And what I want to do is just have this kind of animate around in a square here. So to set a keyframe for position, I'm going to hit P for position. While the layer is selected, hit position. And now I just set a keyframe for this square starting in the center. So now I'm going to go to 1 second on my timeline. And I'm going to move the square up. Now, just like Photoshop, you could hold Shift to constrain to 90-degree angles. So I'm just going to drag up, and I want it to go up. So now I'm going to go to 2 seconds and drag the square over. And I'm going to park the timeline marker here at 3 seconds. Hit N to get our loop point. I'm going to hit 0 to render. And oh yeah, the first render of the day is always a little slow. Takes a lot of RAM to get going here. So in just a second, we're going to have a quick animation of our square moving, hopefully. Come on now. It's just a square moving. Hey everybody, we're back here, and my square is now animating. I had a little hiccup there with my machine, and it looks like we're all set. Hopefully that won't happen again. So here's our animation. Again, we have our 3 keyframes, and you can see, I'm going to make that a little brighter so hopefully you guys can see it. There's a line now between our 3 keyframes showing us the path of our animation. So again, let's take a look at that. You can see it kind of curves up and around. And you know what we actually wanted it to do, and what I actually wanted it to do is kind of go in 90-degree increments. You know, I wanted it to go straight up and then straight over, and then let's set one more keyframe. I'm going to go to 3 seconds and go straight down from there. So these are actually 90 degrees apart from each other, and what I really want them to do is go straight up, straight right, and straight down. And let's talk about why it's not doing that. So After Effects by default wants to round these edges off as you make keyframes. If you wanted perhaps for this to go in a circle or to kind of bend around a corner, After Effects is by default going to try to round these positions out. Now there's a couple ways you can fix this. Or correct this for what you're trying to do. What I'm trying to do is make it go 90 degrees. Now, if you've used the Bezier handles before, you can highlight your keyframe and then move it. And now you can see I'm not, moving a keyframe here. I'm not setting anything new. I'm just changing the path of how this keyframe interacts. So if I stretch it way out and replay, you can see now I didn't add any more keyframes, but I got a lot more control over my path. So this is good depending on what you're trying to do. Now, we can come in here and we could try to reduce these handles all the way down, and then we could do it over here, grab our handles, reduce them, But you can see it starts to get a little squirrely, and there we go. So we're getting close, but really, if you have, you know, more of these to do, I'm hitting undo. If you have more of these to do, there's an easier way, and that's highlight all your keyframes. Go to keyframe interpolation and set this spatial interpolation to linear. Hit OK, and now you can see we have our normal up, down, up, right, down keyframes here. So that's it. Now, how do we change a keyframe? Now, the thing with once you set a keyframe, once you're in kind of record mode here, and this layer is looking to add new keyframes. So if I were to move this, let's say I wanted to move this keyframe, and it looks like we're on this keyframe, but if I move it, you can see I'm actually creating a new keyframe right down here. And that's because if I undo that, you can see my timeline is on a different time. So we have a keyframe at 1 second, at 2 seconds, and at 3 seconds, but we don't have one here. So if I move my object where there's no keyframe, it'll make a new keyframe for me. To move this keyframe, I got to make sure my timeline marker is on that keyframe. Okay? So if I'm parked on that keyframe and I move it, oh, sorry about that. If I'm parked on that keyframe and I grab my object, you can see now I'm just moving that one keyframe. Also, you can grab keyframes right in the viewer here and move them. And now that way your playhead doesn't have to be on the keyframe here. So now there's another way you can alter your keyframes. So let's say now I wanted it to go up and over to the left and then down. We can kind of move these around. And there we go. Play that. Exciting, right? Okay, so what else can we do with keyframes? Let's see. Move them around, and let's say, here's a fun one. Let's say we have our path going here, and I'm going to go to 4 seconds. And at 4 seconds, I want this to go all the way over here. And at 5 seconds, I want it to go here. Now, let's play that whole thing, and let's talk about the speed between these. So if we're pretending that this is a car going around a racetrack, we actually want this to, and in fact, I'm going to move this keyframe over here just so we can kind of keep the analogy going. So now we have our car, and we want to animate our car going around the racetrack. So how would we do that? The main thing is it's going different speeds, right? So it's going up really slow right here, and then it gets to the top and it's flying over, and then it's moving down okay fast and then flying over. And if a car was going around a racetrack at full speed, it would kind of have the similar, almost the same speed going around. And there's a function in After Effects that lets you do this. So if you highlight all of your keyframes and you come into your right click into this menu here, there's a little ticker here called Rove Across Time. And if I select that, you can see our keyframes actually jump to different positions. Now, they didn't move to different spatial positions. They're still in the same corners, but they move to different time positions. So if we play our animation now, you can see that rendering. Okay, here we go. Now our car is actually moving across the track in the same constant speed. And if we open up our curves here, you can see this straight line. I'll just open up curves all the way. This straight line shows our speed difference. Now, if I were to toggle back, I'm going to undo our to go back to our original keyframes. If we come back, you can see now here's the differences in our speed. So this is our value graph showing how fast things are moving in the composition window. And if you look, it's moving 200 pixels a second here, and then it's moving 1,000 pixels a second. So this car here is going at different speeds. If we were to come in and let's do that again, right click, Rove Across Time, come back into our curves, it's doing a constant speed across the whole thing. Now if we were to move anything, it's gonna, you can see these keyframes down here are actually moving as I control this. So they're gonna move to make sure, once they're roving keyframes, they're gonna move to make sure they're going in the right direction, or they're going at the right speed. So just a little tip there. So the last thing we want to do, if this is our car driving around the racetrack, is have it rotate at all the corners. So maybe now in this case, what we want to do is let's go ahead and scale our car down. So he's at the starting line here, and we'll just make it more of an oval so it looks more like a car. And you know, I could have built a racetrack for this. Yeah, maybe next time. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to have him animate around the track. And the only other thing we need to do is make sure that our car turns right when it goes around the corner. So let's do a couple things. First thing is, let's select all of our keyframes and right-click again. Go to Keyframe Interpolation, and we're going to switch actually this back to continuous Bezier. Okay, and what this will do is it's going to round out our corners just like a racetrack would. So now we can actually come into our path and build a real racetrack for our car to go around. That's kind of an oval, right? They have oval racetracks. And maybe the straightaway is a little straighter. We can grab our pen curves here, our little Bezier handles, straighten straightaway out. There we go. And then it curves around the curves. Hey, all right, that's looking more like a racetrack. Fantastic. Now, there's only one thing left to do, and that is make sure our car goes the right way around the racetrack. Now, what you can do is do it by hand, right? So I could grab the rotation and say, at this moment, I want it to rotate, and then by the time we get here, I want it to rotate to here, so I can kind of correct for it. And then I can make another keyframe here, and you make another keyframe by setting this diamond over here. You can turn that on and off to just set a keyframe where it is. And then we'll come down here, and I'm going to rotate with the W tool. Come to here, set another keyframe, and there you go. So that's pretty close, right? But now if we change the shape of our track, or we you know, move the track into a different shape, you can see our car isn't gonna quite follow. Let me make this a little different just to be difficult here. So now you can see that our car is really not gonna follow the track as it should be. He's kind of spinning out of control. So I'm gonna undo, come back here, here we go. And the way to really get this car moving exactly following the path is there's a command called orient to path, and let me see, I think it's Alt Command O. Yeah, that's for me. So Alt Command O will bring up, make sure your layer is selected, the auto orientation panel, and we're going to orient along path. We're going to click OK, and you can see we almost got it. So let's play that, and with no other keyframes, that block right there is going to stick to the path, right? So we're getting close. The only thing is our car is going sideways. So all you have to do is just go ahead and grab that and straighten it to the path. And now you have your car animating around. Fun, right? So that's it. There's a basic intro on keyframing and kind of some of the tools, some of the things to get started. So why don't you go ahead and open up, make a few shapes and try to animate them around the screen. And if you're feeling really ambitious, go ahead and double click over here in the project window. We'll give you a quick little tip right at the end here. And now we can bring in a photo. I have my all new awesome headshot here. Yeah, great. You can actually bring in elements and then animate them around. So you can just drag them right into the thing, and I'll make that full res, make sure I'm looking good. And so now you can actually scale and rotate and do all the things we did to this orange solid to some photographs. So there you go. Go ahead, open up After Effects, have some fun, play around. I'll have more stuff to come, and you know, I'll do some more tutorials, and hopefully we'll make some cool stuff together. Can't wait. All right, so a couple of quick news notes. There's probably a good chance I'm going to make a kind of weekly theme-based kind of yeah. You guys hopefully seen my 5 seconds in orange deal. I may do something like that for you guys, where you know, get a concept or get a few words together, and then see what everybody comes up with every week or two. So I'm in the process of setting that up. If you guys want to do a 5 seconds on orange one, feel free. I already have one entry from Vit, I think is his name, and it's awesome. I think a link to it in Twitter. I'll try to post it in here. And so if you guys want to do a 5 seconds in orange deal, awesome. Send it to me and I'll link it up. And hopefully we're going to have a contest coming here pretty soon where everybody can link up their cool After Effects work they're working on. So there you go. If you have questions, put them in the comments. If you want to see a specific tutorial or specific you know, trick or tip, or whatever you guys want, let me know. And we're going to make cool stuff. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.